This is breaking news with Foxy Brown. This just in, Romeo Doubs will be signing, as expected, with the New England Patriots. As I had mentioned, there were a handful of teams he was thought to be looking at. Several of those teams had solved their wide receiver issues, leaving what I could tell as New England as the top suitor. He is going to the New England Patriots, it looks like, on a 4-year, $70 million deal. That puts Romeo at $17.5 million per year. It's a big old contract. As Matt Schneidman just said, the Packers are going to own every fourth-round pick next year. I'm fine with that. Honestly, I kind of hope Malik's pick is a fourth-round pick because we're better in the fourth anyway. Screw it. Let's just own the fourth, all right? Oh, and some NFL breaking news. Geno is apparently going to the Jets, so there you go. But directly from Nick Corti, signing Romeo Doubs takes the Patriots off the 2027 compensatory pick board. In other words, this nullifies whatever things they've given away or lost or whatever, and adds a fourth-rounder to the Packers at $17.5 million APY. And again, look, I like Romeo. I think under different circumstances, he is a guy that we would pay that to. I think he's worth that. You know, he's not a $30 million wide receiver. Everybody knows that. Is he kind of a good enough number two-ish, $17 million? Yeah, he is. But the reality is, whether you like it or not, I had somebody argue with me about it on social media when I mentioned that, you know, Watson's going to get paid with this money. Well, he's not worth that money. He shouldn't be getting I'm not making a moral judgment on whether or not this should happen. I'm just saying it's going to happen. I mean, I obviously could be wrong, but Tucker's going to get paid. Watson's going to get paid. Presumably Reed very soon, as in like next year, will also be getting paid. We can't have $18 million per year Romeo Doubs as a number 3, possibly number 4 behind Golden. But in terms of pay, he's going to be that number. I mean, it's not going to work. Diana Rossini saying that the Washington Commanders were also in on Doubs, which is a good thing, by the way. I was a little bit nervous once everybody else had kind of, you know, gotten their wide receiver thing figured out if that was going to hurt Doubs or not. I mean, it could help you, it could hurt. It depends on the whole supply and demand thing. If you're the only wide receiver, you have quite a bit of control. On the flip side, if New England is the only team really looking for a wide receiver at that point, it doesn't matter that you're the top guy. I mean, it's kind of, yeah, oh well, where else are you going to go? But with Washington there also kind of pulling some strings and Green Bay probably pretending that they're still interested in re-signing him and all that stuff, kind of helped to catapult Romeo to a pretty solid number. I'm happy for Romeo, man. I really am. I hope he can go be the number 1 out there in New England. I know he was real upset with the Green Bay situation. I shouldn't say I know. I get the impression based on the drama that happened last year, or was that 2 years ago? Whatever, where he ended up sitting out for some time. I think, you know, you could see the writing on the wall. You could see that Watson and Reed were probably going to be ahead of you, and you're not getting that big, massive contract. Look, you know, I'm sure he wanted a bigger contract, but at least now he has the opportunity to go somewhere to try to win that number 1 spot out there, to be that top guy. He's also going to be very comfortable now. This is a massive pile of money. I don't know what his, see if anyone's reporting. I don't think we have any details on this, but, you know, $70 million, how much of that is guaranteed and how much of the signing bonus, in other words, how much goes straight into his bank account right away. He's going to be comfy, man. He's going to be comfy. He's been a durable guy. I don't see why he wouldn't earn all of that 70 and be in line to possibly get another contract after that. Again, you know, you also got to remember he wasn't a first-round pick. You know what I mean? I could see Matthew Golden being kind of pissed off because he wants X, Y, and Z. For him to do what he did, from where he was drafted, to become what he became, and to go on to get this contract, he's doing something very few people in his position do, and I think he should be unbelievably proud of what he's been able to accomplish. Another example of the Packers just refusing to miss in the 4th round. But yeah, that's a pretty remarkable thing. You know, Packers did a great job. It's unfortunate we couldn't keep a guy like that when you find talent like that. But It's also a good sign because ultimately he's not worth the value because we have so much value stacked on top of him is kind of the positive spin on that, I suppose. Anywho, I don't have any further details on that. So I'll leave it at that for now, and we'll kind of tie a bow on that a little bit on tomorrow's podcast as I kind of recap everything. But there you go. Breaking news.